What's up, YouTube? Same outfit here. So I decided to film a couple of videos within the same day, so apologies if I still look like this. But anyway, I decided to do something slightly different, deviating from the usual formula of the streetwear trend videos I've done in the past. And this video will be titled Dumbest Streetwear Trends that I wore or took part in or whatever. I don't know, I'll figure the title out. But yeah, because I feel like over the years, everyone, you know, as they're growing into what they actually like, maybe made some impulse clothing decisions that they are no longer fond of, possibly even regret. I would say I don't necessarily regret any of these things, but some of them are pretty laughable and a ginormous waste of money. But anyway, let's get started with the first one, being super skinny denim pants, pretty much just anything just super tight. So I would say like the first time I wore like a pair of like super skinnies was like in middle school, and that was kind of around the time that I noticed everyone started wearing very, very tight fitting trousers. And as I like look back on it, first off, they were uncomfortable, at least the various pairs and from various brands that I had. Secondly, if you're already thin, it amplifies how skeletal your frame is, as like, and same with them. Like I noticed, like if you're really buff too, which obviously I'm not, but yeah, like if you have like super buff ass calves, skinny jeans look very strange and very abnormal because it's just weird to see denim very form-fitting around like a giant calf. And I don't know, I mean, I feel like nowadays it's more so like people are more so wearing like a slim cut, a straight cut, and a skinny cut still even sometimes, but not super skinny. Like I would call like the skinny jeans of like a few years, like no, not a few years, it's a pretty long time ago now. I feel like that was like 07 to 2010, maybe 2011, when everyone was wearing what I like to call the nut huggers, because you just couldn't breathe in those, like at all. They were terrible. And looking back on it, I did look really ridiculous, and it just looked like I was wearing jeggings. Like it wasn't a good look. I'd still say it's somewhat popular. Like I wouldn't be opposed to wearing like a very slim fitting trouser, but with regards to like jeans, so denim in particular, I'm not a big fan of like light wash, super tight jeans. It just doesn't really look right on me. And moving on to the second one on this list, also something I partook in around the era when I would say Big Sean, Kid Cudi, Ye. I'm pretty sure like there was other people who used to wear, probably like Chris Brown, but I wasn't ever really influenced by him. The coin pouch around the waist, so like on your little belt loop you would wear a little coin pouch. Obviously Cudi, Ye, and Sean wore Louis Vuitton coin pouches, and the other kids in my school that would wear them, they would wear like these knockoff like AliExpress Louis Vuitton coin pouches, and they're really horrible replicas or fakes or whatever you'd like to call them. They're genuinely awful. And the ones I would wear, it's like there was this brand that my dad used to work for. I don't even remember what it was called, but they would include like a little denim. Of course it had to be denim. Oh my god, it was like a little denim coin pouch thing that I had a key ring, and I used to wear those. I had like 4 or 5 of those. I don't know if I have any anymore. If I do, I will throw a picture of one. But yeah, I used to wear those, and then I used to wear like, you know, whatever run-of-the-mill brand from like Plunder or Karmaloop would sell them. So probably like, probably like Diamond or something back in the day. It was like 8 years ago. That's crazy to think of. So I was like real young back then. But yeah, I used to wear them all the time. Now, why I think it's dumb, why I thought that trend was dumb was, 1, you can't fit very much in there. 2, I don't know a single person who actually just used it for coins. And I'm sure it wasn't even ever necessarily meant to be worn on the belt loop. I feel like a coin, like purse, coin pouch, whatever, with the little key thing, I feel like that's almost supposed to hang with inside of like another bag. Like you're supposed to put that inside of like a backpack or a purse and clip it to something in there to keep coins. But yeah, and even like the one time I would actually try to stuff a bunch of dollars and coins and stuff inside of it, it would weigh down so much and it would slap you in the nuts. Like the whole day, like no matter what, you want to run, that bitch is flailing around like like I don't know, I don't even know, like it's all floppy and it's just really awkward to run around wearing that. And I remember people would see it, and I'm not entirely sure why, but when people would see that you're wearing that, at least in my school, they would grab it, like they wanted to yank it off, and not like to rob you, but because they thought it was funny. I don't think I ever broke any of mine, but there were times where I was like, yo, you're gonna rip the belt loop before you, like you're gonna break the jeans before you break the actual chain that the coin pouch was dangling from. But it's weird, like, I really think that was a really dumb trend, especially like, imagine if you kept like your credit cards and debit cards in there and someone really just ripped it hard and ran away with it. I mean, unless you're like a track star and can catch them, you're probably pretty fucked. But like, yeah, they're not super useful, but I still kind of like them. And this, like I told you, the last time I wore one of these was probably like 2010. So I don't know, that's like a stupid trend that I have zero reasoning to like, because first off, it's not hype, not that that would matter, but I still kind of wish there was like another brand that made like, I don't know, just one that looked cool. I'm not about to make one of those for you guys, because it is, like I told you, it is pretty dumb, but part of me, maybe it's a nostalgic thing, I don't know, I still kind of liked the way it looked. I don't know, I'm dumb. And moving on to the third item on this list, we had 2 to 4 finger rings. And what I mean by that is, like, there would be a ring, essentially like a really large ring that would have 2 holes, so you'd have to wear it on 2 fingers or 4 fingers. One brand that comes to mind is Blackscale, who popularized the 2 finger ring, and I can't recall the other brand. I know Tisa used to make a 4 finger ring, and I don't remember the other one, but so funny story, and why this is why that trend was really dumb. So me and my friend went to a party in LA, and the security guard inside the venue, and I was wearing 2 2-finger rings on one hand because I was a tool, and my friend was wearing a 4-finger ring. So the second he saw my friend wearing the 4-finger ring, he immediately went over there, started talking to him, and I was like, yo, what's going on? And the dude wanted to kick him out of the establishment because he was saying that that is basically a brass knuckle, and if in the event something popped off, he could, you know, do some damage, even though my friend was like, well, we were both really young, we were like 17 at this party that we had no business being at. And yeah, and he was like, oh, you're a little guy, so what if you jump up on someone and start hitting them with your 4-finger ring? And then the valid argument my friend made to the bouncer was the dude who is throwing the party, being Taz Arnold at the time, was also wearing 4-finger rings. And when my friend was having this little discussion with the bouncer, I tucked away my 2-finger rings in my pocket because I didn't want him to get mad at me too and try to kick me out too. But obviously, if my friend did get kicked out, I would have just left with him because I'm pretty sure I drove him there. But anyway, we ended up having to put his ring in my car. We couldn't keep it on his person, otherwise we would have been kicked out of the venue. And yeah, and then what's funny is like 2 Chainz wore a 4-finger ring to an airport, and he got detained by like airport security for wearing that. And also, I think my friend told me, which he probably should have heeded the warning, he got a little paper when he bought that 4-finger ring that said, do not wear this to like the airport or, you know, various other places with a high level of security. But obviously he chose to to not follow the little pamphlet that came with the ring. But yeah, the 2-finger, 4-finger ring thing, I feel like it's more trouble than it's worth, especially like if you are someone who travels a lot or like goes to various public events, whether it be a music festival, a party, amusement park, whatever. It's not really worth the trouble and people thinking that you're brandishing a weapon. And moving on to the 4th item, I believe, I don't know, I lost track already. It is the waxed denim. So the reason why I personally used to wear the waxed denim was, at the time, I remember the leather trousers, the leather pants, the leather jogging pants, as Ye used to refer to them as. They were really popular, but to get actual leather trousers is really expensive, and all the brands that made fake leather pants, they just looked like absolute garbage. Like, they just felt horrible, they looked horrible, and they just weren't very convincing. So the alternative to that, for those of us who wanted something similar to that aesthetic, was the waxed denim. So it was like a charcoal gray. You would get like a really deep black color. Like it was like you could get a variety of different shades of black, and then like the wax would like almost change the shine. You could get it like matte, you could get it kind of glossy, and I had like maybe 2 or 3 pairs from different brands. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but yeah, like why I thought it was stupid was when I would buy those, they would come with a tag on them that would say like, oh, do not wear these if you're sitting on like a light colored couch or light colored sofa, because the wax could bleed off into the sofa or whatever. So honestly, I mean, that's not something that's running through my mind all day. So I sat on a beige chair at my house, like a little beige, like 1-seater chair, and the denim actually, or like the wax denim actually started to bleed, like the charcoal gray bled into the sofa. And I know like that's also pretty common with like blue jeans, but I actually used to wear like, you know, like jeans before. I don't wear them anymore, and I used to wear them, and I never had that happen. And I've sat on like white leather and everything, and it never happened. But with this, the color rubbed off completely, and it took me quite a while to scrub it off and remove it from the sofa. And then just overall, like, looking back at it, some of the pants I did have, because they were so overly glossy, they just looked like I was wearing like trash bags on my legs, and that's not the greatest look. But yeah, we'll put wax denim at a number 4 or whatever I said it was. And next, moving on to when I thought I was part of the ASAP mob, we had herringbone chains. And here's the thing. If you buy like a real gold herringbone chain, I'm not talking gold plated, I'm not talking gold spray painted or like something that's gonna turn your neck green. Like, if you bought like a real herringbone chain, I'm sure like, hey, it's cool, whatever, but the one I had, like, it was a pretty decent quality. It was plated, but it wasn't anything that was gonna make your neck green, and it was just too long and floppy. I'm sure like a shorter one would look better, so we'll put it as long herringbone chains, because I remember when Rocky wore one in one of his older music videos. I can't remember if it was like the What's Up video or if it was the Pesos video. It's been so long since like that era of style and music. But yeah, the chain just looked really stupid. I know I put it on my last video as well as something I used to wear, and I don't know, it just looked too gaudy, at least on me. It just looked like I was like some kind of drug dealer, but obviously not a very good drug dealer if I'm wearing fake herringbone chains. But yeah, overall, not too big of a fan of herringbone chains in 2018. They're just a little too much. And lastly, something that I bring up quite a lot on this list, Tisa snapbacks, or Tisa hats, whatever. And why I think that that's dumb, even though I was obviously at one point attempting to try and work with them, I was at one point wearing quite a lot of it. It's like the vintage variant. Like there's a lot that I know people don't really remember about this brand. Maybe they weren't into streetwear at the time, or maybe they just kind of forgot. But then because I was so kind of into that like subculture of streetwear, like I was so into that brand and really knowledgeable on like what went on with it, there was like the hats that were $100 to, believe it or not, $200, $300, $400 were all dead stock vintage hats from the 80s and the 90s that he essentially just, that Taz essentially just added his logo to on the side and then put the lion head on the back. And the retro hats, which were pretty much Adidas, Reebok, and I think American Needle, I can't remember, it's been so long. But yeah, one of all those types of brands that still like made hats, those hats would be around the price range of $50 to $60, and then plus shipping, obviously. And then the hats that had the gold lettering, like the various sports teams that had the gold lettering, those would go upwards of $100, whether they were retro or vintage. So yeah, like the pricing was just nuts. Like I understand the vintage hats, like, because you're not going to get them again, and they would come with tags. Like, these were genuine dead stock hats from like 20, 30 years prior. So that's pretty crazy to have. And I know a lot of people had personal beef with that brand, I mean, because they were mad, saying that like Taz was ruining vintage pieces because he was, you know, customizing essentially pretty rare items, like various, like I told you, I had the Adidas Olympic jacket, and then there was the other one that Chris Brown wore in the G Shit video with Tyga, and people were mad about that because, like I said, they thought that it was ruining the value or the integrity of the vintage piece that he found in dead stock form with tags. But yeah, it was just really expensive. Luckily for me, because I lived in Los Angeles County at the time, and I used to go to all the little Tisa events and Tisa parties. When you would go there, the hats were significantly cheaper. Like he had these like big logo hats that would be roughly, I think, $100 to $150 on the website, which actually no longer exists, which is kind of strange. And at the event, they would literally be like $40 to $50. So quite a significant decrease in price. So definitely worth copying there and reselling at the time. I know now the brand pretty much doesn't exist because there is no active website for it. I'd see no people wearing it. And I really think, I know this is kind of off topic, but I genuinely think the fakes, because believe it or not, 9 out of 10 easy. I know it's like a random number to throw out, but 9 out of 10 hats easy that you saw with a Tisa logo were fake. Like they were not actual, like authentic Tisa. And before Yeezy Busta, before any of that, I used to run an account because this dude on Instagram at the time, Givenchy Police, kind of inspired me, and then I made an account called Tisa Police. And yeah, I used to be a dingleberry on Instagram back in like 2012, I think it was. So like, I just kicked the camera like 6 years ago or so. But hey, man, I don't know. But yeah, like overall, like I said, just overpriced stuff, not necessarily worth it. I mean, now, if you were to try to look for this stuff now, I would say it could potentially be maybe worth your time. Like if you like the sports team, or if you like whatever other hat he makes or made in the past. And if you genuinely are trying to wear those again, I would say if you wanted to buy them on eBay, Depop, Grailed, Bump, whatever, I'm gonna say hit me up. Because even now, I occasionally glance online to see if there's any for sale, because even the real ones go for way cheaper than what they used to, because it has no hype around it now. So now they're easy picking. If you want to try and bring it back, you want to try and rock them again, or maybe there's a sports team hat floating out there and you like the team and you just want the little extra logo, then go ahead and cop it. But I'm gonna say hit me up, because like I said, 9 out of 10 of them genuinely probably fake. So, and I know what to look for. I'm not gonna make a video on that because nobody's gonna watch that. It's like, who's searching for that in 2018? But like I said, if you find them, if you want the hat for some reason, I have like a whole little folder on how to kind of see whether or not one is authentic or one is a fake. So yeah, these are all the trends, dumb trends I personally took part in within like the last 8 years or so, kind of all at the beginning of this decade. Let me know what dumb trends you personally took part in, or maybe still wear, or maybe let me know if you wore any of the stuff that I mentioned here and if you still wear it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. More videos on the way soon. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to keep up with the live streams. I have no idea if I'll ever post fit pictures, but maybe it'll happen one day. Peace out, YouTube. I just spit and it flew like a rainbow over the camera.
Yeah.
Same date on 6/11/4.